everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am back with another interesting video. Today we are going to compare the world's most leading fighter jets and the most lethal. So stick out till the end of the video to find who has the most lethal fighter jet around the world. So before we start, click the subscribe button and smash the like button for more new videos. So let us start. So around the world there are four leading countries around the world, which are the US, Russia, China and France. I also added India in this list to compare how good India is against these countries. So let us first see what jets are competing. So the first jet which is competing is the US's F22 Raptor. Then next is Russia's Su-57 and Su-35 fighters. Next is China's Chengdu J20 stealth fighter. Next is France's Dassault Rafale. Now India, we are using the HAL Tejas jet fighter and the Dassault Rafale. So now as we know what fighter jets are competing, let's begin with their stats. So the F22 belongs to the USA. The F22's proportions are: its length is big, about 62 feet. And its weight is also very good, with a weight of 19,700 kilograms. And it has a wingspan of 45 feet. And it is powered by two Pratt & Whitney F119 General Electric turbofan engines. These allow the jet to super cruise, meaning the ability to fly at supersonic speeds without an afterburner. With afterburners, the problem is the radar cross-section is increased. Without this, stealth does not come. That is why now lots of companies are developing super cruise ability engines. So now let's move to the next fighter, the Su-57, also known as the Phelan or Pak T-50. It is the biggest of all the 5th generation fighter jets, reaching about 65 feet in length. It weighs about 18,500 kilograms. And the wingspan is about 50 feet. It is powered by two Saturn AL-15 turbines. These are not 5th generation engines. These do not have the ability to super cruise, which decreases the stealth of the Su-57 right here. Now next coming up is the Chengdu J20. This fighter jet reaches about 60 feet in length, and its weight is 19,330 kilograms. Now the wingspan of this fighter jet is 47 feet. Su-35. Before that, let me tell you the engines of the J20. The J20 is powered by two Saturn AL-15 turbines, two imported from Russia. Next, we are looking at the Su-35. This is necessarily not to say a 5th generation fighter, but it's a 4th generation fighter. But still, this is a very lethal fighter jet. It is the largest of all the jets which we are comparing here, reaching about 66 feet in length and weighing the highest about 22,000 kilograms. And it also has the biggest wingspan, which is about 53 feet. So this is the biggest fighter jet in our comparison. Next is the Dassault Rafale. This is also necessarily not to say a 5th generation fighter, but indeed is a 4++ generation fighter. So now the difference between 4th generation fighters and 4++ generation fighters is that 4++ generation fighters are more advanced and have much more technical abilities. The Rafale can reach a length of 55 feet and can weigh about 9,950 kilograms. This is the lightest fighter jet till now which we compared. And its wingspan is also very low, about 43 feet. It is powered by two engines which still is not released, and we need to know more about this fighter. This is also imported in India and about 36 Rafales are ordered. Until now only 10 have been received. Now when coming to India, India also has the Dassault Rafale. But the best fighter jet which is made by itself is the HAL Tejas Mark II. This is a 4th generation fighter jet. But we are still adding this fighter jet. This fighter jet is about 50 feet long and it is a delta wing fighter jet, meaning it has two canards in the front. The J20, the Rafale and the HAL Tejas, all of these are canard delta wing fighter jets, meaning they have small fins in the front and their wings are connected like this in a type of delta shape. And now the weight of the HAL Tejas is very low, about just 8,800 kilograms, which is very, very low. And the wingspan is also similar to the Rafale, 53 feet. So the Rafale and the HAL Tejas are on the low level of sized aircrafts. So now as we know all the size proportions of these fighter jets, let's get into the fight. So now in the fight, what is going to happen is we are going to compare each of them solo. But first let's combine them with allies fight. So in this fight, the F22 will be teaming up with the Rafale and HAL Tejas for the fight. The F22 will be the main leader of this fight and the best fighter of this fight because it's a 5th generation fighter jet. Then the Su-57 and the J20 and the Su-35 are on one side, Russia and China. So first of all, as the F22 has the best technical advancements in the world in fighter jets, first the F22 will detect the Su-57, J20 and Su-35. Then it will give this information to Now by the time the Su-57, as it is the best of the fleet, detects the F-22 or the Rafale or the HAL tejas, the F-22 Rafale and HAL tejas will be ready. Then the fight will start off like this. F-22 starts off the fight with Su-57 by F-22 firing one AIM-120 AMRAAM missile. As the Su-57 has good maneuverability, it can dodge these missiles. Now this is not a close quarters fight. This is a long range fight. So then the Su-57 gets its targets on the Rafale and about to move into the kill, whereas the J20 is taking care of the HAL tejas. The Su-57 is distracted and the F-22 fires a missile and it hits the Su-57 and the Su-57 is down. Now the J20 and Su-35 are left against the F-22 Rafale and HAL tejas. Next, the HAL tejas gets a missile lock warning by the Su-35 and the Su-35 launches missile and the HAL tejas is gone. Now we are having only 4 jets left in this fight. Now this becomes into a close quarters fight, and as the Su-35 has the best maneuverability, it is able to dodge most of the attacks. But the problem is it does not have an onboard cannon which the F-22 has. This onboard cannon helps the F-22 to shred any fighter jet which comes into close quarters range. The Su-35 does not know this weapon is there and gets shredded by the F-22. Now the F-22 and J-20 both are same 5th generation fighters, but the F-22 has a way better maneuverability and has better engines. The cannons also allow the J-20 a lot of agility, but its inferior engines makes its downfall. So the J-20 is down and the F-22 and the Rafale still remain intact. So now we can see that in this fight the F-22 had the best opportunities of landing a kill. Now in solo fight, all of these would depend on the pilot's experience. Like if there is a very well trained pilot in a HAL tejas and a first day new pilot in an F-22, the HAL tejas would have the ability to shoot down the F-22 in close quarters range also. So let's say all of these pilots had the same experience, same battle experience and everything. So the fight would start off. Now we'll break this down into 2 types of fights. We'll make this into 5th generation fight 1 and the other one into 4th generation fights. So let's start with the 5th generation fight happening now. The F-22 and the Su-57 and the J-20 start off. As the J-20 has the worst capabilities of maneuverability and the worst radar capabilities, it gets shot down first by the Su-57 and F-22. Next, these 2 fighters remain, the F-22 and the Su-57. Now if this was a close quarter range, it would mostly come into a dogfight. Dogfights are like the fights which mostly maneuverability used and cannons. But the problem is here, not only the F-22 has cannons, but the Su-57 also has the cannon. So this would depend on some factors. If it was a dogfight, the Su-57's moving engines could be way better used and the Su-57 would win. But this is very highly unlikely because the fighter pilots are now trained not to do a dogfight. The last dogfight which happened was in the late 1988s, and the last dogfight which ever happened till which we know about now is in 2017 when a US Navy pilot shot down a Syrian fighter. So the Su-57 has only chances in a dogfight and nothing else. So the F-22 lands a kill on the Su-57 and the Su-57 is gone. So the victor of the 5th generation fight is the F-22 Raptor. Now coming to the Su-35 Rafale and HAL tejas. So first of all, as a HAL tejas is very light and has very bad engines. Even though the Rafale also has bad engines, but they're still a bit better than the HAL tejas, and the HAL tejas is taken down by the Rafale. Now, as the Rafale is also cannot delta wing fighter, it does not have very good maneuverability. But the Su-35 has a very good maneuverability chance. And it also has a 30mm out cannon, which is similar to the F22 and SU-57. So this comes into a close quarters fight, and the Su-35 shreds the Rafale. But the Rafale has a chance here. It has one ASMP nuclear missile, which is its best bet against the Su-35. As you know, nuclear weapons give out a lot of radiation and a lot of power. The Su-35 could be finished. So now let's say that the Rafale has remained intact and survived, whereas the Su-35 is gone. So the F22 and the Rafale would square off one last time. So as you guys know, the F22 is only going to win because of its better technology and maneuverability. But let's say that Rafale didn't use its ASMP nuclear missile on Su-35 and the Su-35 remained with the F22. If it's a close quarters maneuverability fight called a dog fight, the Su-35 would win. But as I already told you guys, the Su-35's dogfights are not capable these days because pilots are not trained to do dogfights. So the F-22 would get the win in the final. So the F-22 is the most lethal fighter jet around the world, and still its technology cannot be compared anywhere else in the world. But soon we can get an answer that the US's F-22 can go down because of the 6th generation fighter jet program starting. Russia is also thinking on making a 6th generation fighter jet, which is going to be the MiG-47. The US is also not that behind in developing 6th generation jets. They have already made and flown a 6th generation fighter jet. They are not disclosing that many features about this jet. What they told is just, it is a jet and it can fly. And we know it can fly very high. So this is known as the NGAD jet, which is known as the next generation Air Force Development Fighter Jet. So the F-22 still remains the king of the skies. So if you like the video, like and don't forget to subscribe and smash the like button for more new videos. Thank you.